it's Tom and Adam from Cultaholic.com. Just a few days to my birthday, just putting that out there.
I don't care.
Just putting out there's my birthday on Friday.
Oh, I've given you the day off already. What more do you want?
Oh,
yeah, everyone gets their birthday off. That's a new thing this year.
This is shoot. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
You've got to book it in. Get on Time-tastic,
Oh,
Tom. Bit of
what's
admin
it?
for you. Let's kick off with some admin. Yeah, come on.
Yes, that is a lovely bit of shoot news, that is. And here's some more worked news.
No!
A surprising WrestleMania match is being planned for WrestleMania 36. There's been a backstage argument about the WrestleMania main event and which superstar nearly got the Brock Lesnar WrestleMania match. Find out soon. Whoa, whoa, WrestleMania. Bring that theme tune back. It's my favourite one. It's brilliant. Right, WrestleMania around the corner. We're on the road now. We've left the service station that is the Royal Rumble. We've just passed a hitchhiker that smells a bit. We've just run over a vole and we're on the road to WrestleMania. And we have quite an appetising little WrestleMania match planned.
Huge scoop here. Huge scoop.
The scalp is so huge, we can't hold it in our hands, can't get a purchase.
From the Wrestling Observer Radio, it is being reported that Charlotte Flair, her WrestleMania match after winning the Royal Rumble, is going to be against Rhea Ripley for the NXT Championship. Oh, it was all worth it! Get your pitchforks away, you buggers. No, I really like this. If this is true, then yes, please. That's fantastic. Imagine if Ripley goes over. By the way, I don't even think she needs to. It's an intriguing match anyway. Charlotte could make her look even more fantastic. I think if this happens, Rhea's winning that. I don't think they'll put Charlotte on NXT.
What I love is that they because Rhea Ripley's got a title defense before then. She's facing Bianca Belair at TakeOver Portland. And we saw the Belair-Charlotte altercations in the Rumble. So even if Charlotte, because the talk is that Charlotte will appear on NXT tonight and stake her claim. And if that's the case, that adds further intrigue to TakeOver Portland because both Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley could potentially go on to have a match with Charlotte at WrestleMania, and it would be fine. Personally, I would prefer it to be Rhea Ripley.
Me too.
I feel like that is the direction that the women's division is going in, and I think it would be a match that would very much make Rhea Ripley on that big stage.
Could be huge.
I like the fact that the NXT Women's Championship is being defended at WrestleMania itself.
Yeah, reportedly.
Allegedly.
No, it's just huge. It's absolutely huge news. Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, it could end up being a triple threat match. Charlotte loves a triple threat at WrestleMania.
That's very true.
She should have definitely been there.
This is actually going to work out for the best for everybody because when you look at the way that WrestleMania is shaping up in the women's division, so like you've got Becky Lynch, who really doesn't need another match with Charlotte. We don't need that match again and again. So the matchup with Shayna Baszler, which is another one reportedly happening, that's more intriguing. On the SmackDown side, you've got Bayley, who there's obviously, while she was conspicuous by her absence in the Rumble, Becky Sasha Banks seems like a direction to go in.
Yeah. It'd be a hell of a match.
I'm more intrigued by that than I am Charlotte versus Bayley.
Yeah,
so it kind of leaves Charlotte as a bit of an island. So the options are to either do a kind of, in the grand scheme of things, relatively inconsequential match at WrestleMania, or do something where you can step back from the main furore and build the development division, which I think is an excellent way to give back and stand out at the same time.
Couldn't agree more. There's one match that we're not talking about, one potential match. She can challenge for any title she wants. The Fiend. Charlotte the Fiend. Oh! Or Charlotte Andrade for the US title.
Oh, sexy match. Yeah.
Sexy match? All right, Lawler.
Because they get on, don't they? They get on romantically.
Those fiancé, yeah, they get on.
They get on romantically. They're having a lovely time. Bless them. Could they do? Could she challenge for any belt?
I mean, they're not going to do that. I was doing a funny, don't worry.
I know, I'm saying, could she not challenge Ross for the Cultaholic Championship?
I mean, it'd be a nice bit of exposure. If you fancy giving us a call, Tom's number is 07844
no!
672.
Oh, God, whoever's that is, they're getting some horrible calls today. Bon qui qui. Sticking with Wrestling Mania 36, and it looks like there's a bit of a power struggle backstage for what will go on last this time. Got a couple of options here.
It can't be the biggest power struggle. Vince McMahon is the boss. But anyway, there is an argument, reportedly, between Paul Heyman and Vince McMahon about what the WrestleMania main event should be. Now, Vince McMahon's preference for the main event is believed to be Roman Reigns versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt. Paul Heyman, however, is campaigning heavily to have McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar as the main event. If he's campaigning to have that as the main event, you've got to believe that Drew McIntyre's winning that.
Yes.
Closing the show on a very, very happy note.
They can't have that match go on last and not have Drew win. There's been too many occasions where, like, they've got to the last match and they've sent everybody home miserable lately.
Hardly ever at WrestleMania. It's a rarity, isn't it?
But last
Generally,
time,
babyface main
Brock
event wins.
was in the main event, they succeeded.
Yeah. No,
or did they? Because everybody was booing Roman. Either way, right?
Nobody won.
Nobody won. How about this time somebody wins? So Drew McIntyre, I think, would be a more sensible choice for the main event. Drew and Brock going on last. I feel like that's a more marquee match. I think that the Fiend match with Roman Reigns, I think, is still strong, should still be near the top, but I think that, personally, that should go on last. How about you? What you got and why?
I agree that Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar should go on last. I think that's the most... From the matches that we know or believe to be happening at this point, I think that's the most sensible suggestion. Reigns versus Fiend, like, it'll be great. And that would be cool if Fiend wins and closes out WrestleMania, but if Roman is booked to win that match and closes out WrestleMania, I just don't want to see that again. No, thank you.
It's a shame because he's been so far removed from the title picture for so long. Yet
It's been nice. It's been refreshing.
Yeah, we're still not ready for him to go back yet, are we?
Not quite. I will be saying I love Roman. Genuinely, I think Roman is fantastic. I think he's great in the ring. I think he's a good character. The booking's been off, obviously, but I quite often feel a little bit sorry for Mr. Anoa'i because he just gets a lot of flack when he does his job very well and seems like a really nice bloke.
He seems like a lovely man.
It's Cena all over again, isn't it? Lovely man, but frustrating sometimes. But yeah, no, I think if Drew's winning, Drew is the correct shout to close the show.
Yeah, let's get a British heavyweight champion.
Finally.
Or, if he loses, a Scottish nearly heavyweight champion. Come on, Murray! And finally, if not Drew, then
Finally?
who?
What the hell is finally, Tom? Do it proper.
Right. Bobby Lashley, find Alamont Leasley.
There you go.
If not Drew, then who? That's the question they were asking backstage before they made the decision, quite late in the day, is it?
Yes.
To give Drew McIntyre the big over-the-top Brocky throw-out and win. Who was going to get that otherwise? Well, there was quite a few names in contention. One in particular is very intriguing.
According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, Aleister Black was in the running for the Lesnar match. The decision was made to go with McIntyre. He thinks it's the right decision. I think it's the right decision out of those two for sure. I think they've really messed up Aleister Black on the main roster, and it's fixable, but it's maybe not fixable. It wouldn't be as good as Drew by Mania. Aleister Black maybe needs another year. I'd love to see him in the main event of Mania.
I would say
now.
that I agree they've made the right call by putting Drew. Seems to be if you're gonna take anybody from that roster and put them in a position like that, like we wouldn't have probably said it. On Saturday, probably Drew McIntyre. Like I knew he was in the mix, but the way they did it, which was so wonderful, is that all we were thinking about was, Drew and Randy Orton, they find each other. That'd be a fun little bit. We never even considered that it'd be Drew that hoofs Lesnar out.
What I loved about it is that I thought the rub was going to be getting rid of Lesnar and then Drew would have a nice strong showing and he'd be eliminated later. But they went full hog, didn't they? They went
doubled
balls
down
to the wall and not just the elimination, but winning the whole thing. And that's why it was so nice.
I thought it was really brave, actually, a brave booking decision because you could have had the crowd in Houston, for whatever reason, decide to turn on Drew. But then you've committed to not only him getting the biggest elimination of the night, but then winning the whole thing. You are, as you say, you're doubling down. So it was a brave thing to do, but it worked beautifully. Would that have happened with Aleister Black? I think people would have still, in the moment, would have enjoyed the Aleister Black thing. I don't think the following night on Raw you would have had the heat for it. I don't think.
Drew's journey's been far more interesting. A guy that came in, he was the chosen one, and then a few years later he's in 3MB dicking about. Yeah, and then he goes away and he proves himself on the Indies. He's ICW champion, he's WCPW champion. He does all this amazing stuff. He gains a hell of a lot of mass. He looks like a total badass. He comes back, he's booked relatively poorly on the main roster, fairly alright on NXT, but he's sort of stagnated a bit, and everybody knows how good he is, and then it happens.
And the BT Sport deal happened, and off to the races
There you
we go.
Please keep cheering Drew. Make him feel like a massive. It doesn't matter how if the storyline turns into absolute bollocks. Just please keep cheering him.
Because this is a big deal. Because this is like when you consider we were sat here a week ago, we were going, oh, maybe Lesnar, Velasquez, Fury's out of the picture now.
Wasn't even there. He wasn't even there.
He wasn't even there. But we were kind of. Like, you watched the reactions that we did. Like for the first 5-6 entrants, I'm going, all right, Velasquez now. Kind of resigned to the defeat of we're getting Lesnar, Velasquez. Let's just get that match sorted so we can enjoy the Rumble. So the fact that we are having a main event for WrestleMania with these guys, which features Brock versus a wrestler, not Brock versus an attraction. Mm-hmm. And that's no disrespect to Cain Velasquez, but he's been brought in as an attraction. Yeah. You know, he hasn't been brought in because he's grafted on the indies. He's brought in because he's an attraction, and that's fine. But I love the fact that it's a wrestler versus Brock.
It's great.
I'm a big fan of this. Keep cheering him, and it will keep happening.
Maybe.
Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on.
We done, Tom?
I think we're done, yeah.
See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Cultaholic. Lastly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.